Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back. Today's sin of software projects is gonna be greed, and this one is kind of it's a very powerful and very destructive sin because greed, as you know, is like they want everything but they don't want to give at all, and that's what a lot of freelance clients in these days have become. They really want the best results without getting or giving in the resources required for those results. And that's what causes a lot of projects to fail. This is probably the third most destructive sin in my top three ranking. We're gonna get to the most destructive two in the next videos probably. Most likely. No, most definitely actually. I have to change like this level of English where I say most probably and probably. I need to speak with absolutes, you know? It's kind of funny because I'm the one that don't like doesn't like people speaking with absolutes. But anyway, basically, yeah, let's read this, and I'm gonna give you a couple of stories. And as I mentioned, these kind of videos aren't for the details. If you want to read a more professional, uh, eh, if you want to do to like know a little bit more about this topic in a more professional sense or a put more professionally, check out my blog. I have like a lot of. I mean, I have like all the sins like written directly in there, so you can just like read those and skip this content. And if you like my content, you can stay for the stories, of course. Yeah, greed, the sin of demanding monumental results without providing necessary investment. This sets up a product for failure by starving it. See what they did there? This is like related to a little bit of another like sin, gluttony of the necessary resources such as more team members, the budget, or the tools. Okay, I have a lot of stories for this one, but I don't want to get like a little too personal with this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speak in a, I'm not gonna mention anything like interesting or anything. You know what? Actually, no, I'm gonna mention things, interesting stuff. So my first story for you today is the story about a freelance project I did for one of one of my first ever projects, and that is the with the guy who wanted to pay me $300 a month. Yeah, $300 a month, and for me to develop a SaaS for him. And I kind of got the wage up to $500 per month, though I only worked for 3 weeks, so I kind of it was like a battle to get my money. And then after those weeks, I was like, you know what? Um, you want some maintenance, okay? Let's do something a bit different. Let me work with you on an okay, let me fix this. Let me work with you on an hourly basis. And we see how it goes. And then like I just worked like 3 hours at like I if I remember correctly, like I don't know, $10 a month or so. And he saw that it was like $50, and he was like, no, I have nothing to do with this. I cannot pay this amount of money, even if the software was gonna bring him a lot of money in return. Like he didn't want to put the budget to the guy that's making the software that's gonna make him a lot of money. He just wanted the money, basically. That's all he wanted in this project. And yeah, the project, an absolute failure. He was trying to get like a lot of users in by giving them like free subscriptions, which actually cost him like a lot of money out of pocket. It was like a software where it required like a lot of resources. He was paying like nearly $300 a month. Well, if I speak honestly, he got the $300 a month, or he got $500 a month as credit to use in that like hosting service. So he really didn't pay anything basically. You know, he's basically scamming me in a sense to develop his software for him. And I didn't even get like a lot of money from that project. I mean, I was a student at that time, so like 300 and even 500. I mean, 500, even 300 were like monumental numbers. You know, a lot of things can be done with those, especially in 20, I don't know, 2022 or somewhere around that. 2021 probably, yeah, around those years. $500 a month is like you're like in the top 10% of wages here in my country. But yeah, didn't work out, sadly. Or maybe happily for me, because I was nearly burning out with all of those garbage things that I was working on. Okay, greed. Greed. I'm gonna give you another example, but this is like a very general example because a lot of people have. This happens to a lot of people. Like when you're working with somebody, and he says, um, and you give him like, let's say, you say it's gonna take like 12 months for this project to be done, and the guy goes, please, can we do it in like 6 months? And then you go, okay, if we double the price, because I'm gonna hire some more people to work, we can do it in 6 months. And it's like, no, I want the same people, but I want them to do it in 6 months. And you're like, that math isn't working. You can't do math like this. Like, you can't have 12 split by 2 without something going wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I have like another funny example where I don't know. It's kind of funny, so I think I'm fine if I say it. Where like we had like a team of developers that was fired because the guy didn't want to pay them and he wanted vibe coders. So what he did, he fired the team, a couple of people, and he got a vibe coder to work on the project because he didn't want to spend money on 3 people that were actually doing good work. Well, now that I said 3 people, I kind of spoiled who it is. Probably, hopefully, he's not watching this video. I don't think he will be watching these videos. I mean, I hope he doesn't. If he does, well, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of crazy. Like, greed. And I have another example of greed. This is kind of personal because I really hate this dude. I mean, I don't hate people, but I hate this one. So this is following up on the same story that like where they fired the thing, where they fired the team. This dude fired the team, brought his own team member or like someone he knows. You know why? This also goes into greed in the aspect of money because this guy takes a percentage of his team's earnings. Yeah, you heard me correctly. He fired 3 people that were doing quite a good work. They were doing well to bring in a vibe coder because he wanted to take a little bit, like a percentage of their pay. And we're not even paid well, like, if we're being honest. I mean, I'm paid relatively well to like the market here, even though it's like a freelance project, but it's kind of crazy, Like, greed has no limits, basically. Yeah, those are like the 2 stories for today. Okay, let me check if I have any other stories for you. I don't remember what I said in my blog post. So I technically have my blog post here. I don't want to spoil it. I'm not gonna look at it in the recording. We can look at it on another browser. So yeah, firing a whole team, hiring a vibe coder because you want to save costs, and yeah, expecting the same team to deliver like, I don't know, like multiple years of results in a couple of months. I mean, we kind of did that to be honest, but yeah, a lot of. I mean, greed doesn't come from the smaller members or like the lower level members because they really don't have any say or any gain from the company itself. All they gain from is basically their salaries. So a lot of these things come from the managers, as I mentioned, like the example where the manager brought his own team members to take a percentage, and it's kind of crazy. Like I truly cannot believe that happened, and it happened so fast without even asking like the team. They were basically like in 3 days they were sent. Uh, we are sorry to be splitting. Uh, We are replacing you with a vibe coder. And then they're getting kicked out of Slack in like basically 3 days. It happened so fast. It was crazy. Like nobody knew what was happening. And we weren't even, we aren't even paid. Like we didn't even get paid. And we're like on the 16th of this month. So it's kind of too late. It's half the month basically. Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Well, I guess that is it for today. I'm not gonna say any. I don't have any more examples of this. I kind of don't want to. I mean, I only have like this one thing where it's kind of went crazy with this project. I'm gonna have like a full on. Okay, I'm currently working on this. You know, it's a full on drama series. Like it's crazy. It gets crazy. Believe me, it gets crazy. Yeah. Okay, nearly my microphone fell. When I publish that series, it's gonna be super fun. I'm gonna make it in the same style like this, so it might not be fun to look at, but hopefully it's gonna be fun to listen to at least. Yeah. See you tomorrow for another sim.